Now using I/O operations. Now all programming languages allows us to read input, that is known as input operations, and it also allows us to write the output, which is known as output operations. Here input means to read data from any input devices like say keyboard, which is very popular, and output means to write the data to the output device like monitor or printer, etc. Now input output operations are popularly known as I/O operations. Okay, remember this word, I/O operations. The C language does not have any built-in statement to perform input and output operations. These data input and output operations are carried out by the standard input-output built-in functions. If you remember, we always include the stdio.file and those all things, right? Now just see. So far we have used the functions such as say printf and scanf. Am I right? Printf is an input function while scanf is an output function. In this chapter we will discuss how to perform I/O operations using the functions like getchar, getch, gets, scanf, printf, putchar, putc and puts. These many functions we are going to learn in this chapter. We will also discuss how to perform the input and output operations. Now see, one thing before starting the thing I will tell you, we use variables to process data in our program, right? Now these variables could assign the values in two ways. For example, if you declare integer a, then a is equal to 2, a is equal to 10, whatever, like that way. By using is equal to sign, you can assign the value. And another way is you can take the value from the user, right? And using the scanf function, you can store the value in that variable. Inbuilt input functions. First we will start with inbuilt input functions. Now see, input is in a program can be possible through any of the input device like keyboard, mouse, etc. We can also take the input from file. C provides several inbuilt input related functions which are stored in library files, C library files. So to use any of the inbuilt function from C library, we need to include the respective library file of that function in the beginning of the program using include statement. How do we include? Hashtag include, and then in the angular bracket the name of the file, for example stdio.h. So like this way we include the file before void main. Now what happens if you include the file? First thing is studio.h stands for standard input output header file. Fine. Now the header file contains various input and output operations related functions. In this file stdio.h, there are so many functions for input output thing which we can make the use of. Now what happens when you include this file or any type of header file? The statement has include informs the compiler to find that file, for example studio.h, and place its content in the beginning of our program. Already the content which are lying in that file will be placed in the beginning of the program. The content of header file is then become a part of our program. It will become the part of our program only, whatever functions are lying there. Note that on some of the computer system, it is not necessary to include this header file. We can straight away use the thing. Now forget that part. Fine. Now we will discuss one by one input functions. So we start with get char. GETCHAR. Like this way is the syntax. Variable name is equal to get char. For example, if you want to take a variable, you declare a variable that is choice, then you give a printf that enter your choice. Enter y for yes and enter n for no. Then a person will enter either y or n. Now that thing you need to store in the variable. So how will you take the input? Variable name, that is choice, is equal to get char bracket open bracket close semicolon. Like this way you will be able to include that file. Now get char, we talk about get char, then it is one of the simplest way to read a character in a program at runtime. The standard form of get char I have already explained you. So like this way is this function. But remember one thing, that you can only scan a value which is having character data type. With get char you cannot take the input of a float or integer. Now another thing, every time when we call this function, it reads a single character. Okay, it is capable of taking the input of a single character. The function returns an int, the ASCII code of the relevant character, but we can assign the input given by the user to the character variable. Now see, internally what happens, that is explained here. When you scan the value, the function will return the int. Okay, that is the ASCII code of the relevant character. For example, you have A, then the ASCII code is 065, then it will take it as 065, but then later on it will convert it into char data type, character data type. So there will be no problem at all. Now one example is given here in the textbook. Now in this chapter I am not going to start C program and solve any of the problems or any of the programs. Why? Because here there is no need of using any type of logic. I can simply explain you with the screenshots of the textbook. So the time also will be saved, instead of each time starting the C program and explaining you the thing. Next chapter will be full of practicals and logical reasoning. That time I will be doing practicals. This time I will be explaining like this way. Fine. So here we take the example of get char. Just see, integer main or void main, whatever. Character variable answer. So a character variable named answer is declared here. Now one printf is given, would you like to study? Another printf is given, enter y for yes and n for no. Now whatever the user will enter will be scanned using get char and it will be stored in answer by using this syntax. Okay, so like this way you can scan the value. Now this if else is given in the textbook. Actually if is coming in 13th chapter, but they have used it here, that if answer equal to y, or this is OR operator, answer equal to capital Y or small y, then printf that go to study room, else printf go to the playground. Like this way it is. Just now you forget this lower part, you just say how to scan the value. Fine. Now we take another function, that is get ch. Now the function get ch is also used to read a character from the user, but the difference is between get char and get ch is that, see, this is most of the time asked in the MCQ also. So remember the word, remember the difference. What is the difference between get char and get ch? Now when you enter any value, okay, and if you are scanning with get char, then that value whatever you have entered, y or n, will be displayed on the screen. Okay. But if you use getCH function, then that thing will not be echoed. The character keyed in will not be echoed on the screen. Echoed means it will not be visible on the screen. Okay. So if you prepare a program in which you don't want to show what the user has entered, you want to keep it secret, then you can use getCH function. Then the next function is getC. Like getChar and getCH. getC is also used to read a single character. But the difference is that getC function reads the character from the file instead of reading it from the standard input device such as keyboard. Now say for example, if you have designed a program in which the program will open only if the user enters the correct PIN code or password. Okay. So in designing that program, you will need to compare the password which is stored previously against that username in the file. So one input you will have to take from the file. Another input you will have to take will be from the keyboard, whatever the user enters, and then you will have to compare that thing in this program, right? So in such circumstances, you need to take the input from the file, and for that getC function is used. Okay. Now we come to getS. S means string. Remember the word S means string. String means a word or a sentence. C means character. getC. getS means string. Now so far we have seen library functions getChar, getCH, get and getC, which can read only one character at a time. Say this is the main limitation, only one character could be read at a time. To read two or more characters, we need to use the function called getS. Because calling getChar for so many times is not a good thing. It doesn't look a proper thing. So in such circumstances, getS function is used. The syntax is like this way. See, getS into bracket variable name. Now say in getChar the syntax was variable name is equal to getChar, bracket open, bracket close, while here the syntax has changed. So you have to remember both the syntax because it could be asked in the MCQs. This chapter practicals will not be asked from this chapter, only MCQs will be asked from this chapter. So whatever teaching work I am doing is all based on that thing. I am preparing you for answering the MCQs. So remember each and every sentence which I am speaking. Fine. So this was about getS. Now we take an example which is given in the textbook. See here, character state name is given. Variable name is state name. Okay. Maximum size is 30 characters. Now first a printf is given that what is your state name. Fine. Now we want to take the value which the user enter. It could be any value up to 29 characters, right? So this is the syntax used here. getS into bracket name of the variable, that is state name, bracket close, semicolon. Fine. So the value will get saved in this variable. Now if you want to display the value lying in this variable state name, then you can display it using printf. Your state name is %s. Now see, to display integer variable we use %d. To display character variable we use %c. While to display whole string we use s for string. Okay. So like this way this function is. Then next we come to is formatted input. Now there are some situations in our program where use of input functions discussed so far are not much useful. Practical life only scanf function is useful. These all functions are just there theoretically. Practically they are not much useful. So the get char or get ch or get c can be used to read only single character at a time, whereas get s can be used to read multiple characters until the enter key is pressed. What if you want to input the data like 33 Mudra Ahmedabad? So in the said example, first of all, data is the roll number of the student. Second and third part of the data are the name and city of the student respectively. As can be observed, roll number is of integer data type and remaining two are of character data type. Here we want to take the input of three different variables. Okay, try to understand this example. We want to take the values of three different variables: roll number, integer data type, then name of the student, that is character data type, and name of the city, that is character data type. Three different values we want to scan. So C provides the facility called formatted input functions, using which we can read such type of data. We have already used one of the formatted input functions, scanf, in many of the examples. Let us explore various options available for formatted data input using scanf function. So this we have already used scanf, right? In that you can scan the value of any number of variable. The scanf stands for scan formatted. Okay. Now it allows us to input data of any format like integer, float, anything. Okay. Now syntax, simple. You all know the syntax. Control string, that is %d or %c, whatever that is, or you can add any sentence also in between, but that all will come in double quotes, then comma, and then ampersand, name of the variable. For example, I declare a variable integer a and I want to scan the value for a, then scanf in double quote %d double quote, then comma, then ampersand a, then that value will be scanned in, stored in variable a. And if you declare more variable, if you want to scan the values of more variable, then here you can put comma in between and go on adding the variable name. The control string is also known as format string. Now one more thing I would like to explain. Three things: variable name, value and memory address. Three things. Now variable name. Okay. For example, if you declare a variable named roll number, okay, then that will be variable name. Then value means whatever value you enter inside that variable using scanf function, whatever the user enter will be stored as the value of that variable. And one more thing is the memory address of that cell. Now see, you will be surprised to know, or most of them may already be knowing, that in this primary memory also, that is RAM, each and every cell is identified by its memory address or cell address. Okay. Because whenever we want to retrieve the data, how will we come to know from where the data is to be retrieved? So at that time the memory address of that cell is been referred. So like this way it is. Now here some examples are given. Now this is not at all hard, it's very simple. Reading integer variables value. For example, if you declare three integer variables, mark 1, mark 2 and marks 3. If you want to scan the value for these three variables, it's very simple. Scanf %d, %d, %d. Here no comma will come in between. Remember, no commas in between, only %d, space %d and space %d. Then comes comma. Then ampersand, name of the variable. This variable refers to first %d. second variable name refers to second variable, that is second %d, and third refers to third %d. Whatever marks you store will be stored in this 3 variables like this way. Same way float. Another example which is given is reading float number. For example, you declare 2 variable %1 and %2 or per 1 and per 2. Then scanf %f, comma m% and per 1, m% and per 2 like this way. So both the values whatever will be entered will be stored respectively in %1 and %2. Then reading real numbers. Okay. After that, by mistake I have typed here real numbers. It is reading character data type. Okay. So character data type could be read like this way. Just see. Here 2 types of thing is been displayed. Just see. Variable C1 and C2 are of character data type, but they are capable of storing one single character. Just observe, it's not an array. It's capable of storing one single character. Okay. While character city is capable of storing 19 characters. Okay. Its capacity is to store 19 characters. Now if I want to scan the values of all three variables together, then scanf %C, and here will come %s, and then will come the name of those cells with name of those variables with ampersand sign, %C1, %C2 and %CT. I have taken the screenshot of the textbook, but like this way it is %CT. So that you will have to confirm here whether to add ampersand or not. Okay. Now the last topic of this video is restricted user input with percentage into bracket characters and percentage into bracket this sign, caret sign, and then characters. These 2 things are the last topic of today. Now what is it? First I will tell you. See, generally we write %d, %f or %c or %s. In place of that, something else also could be used here, which is to be taught to you here just now. Now C language scanf function provides wonderful facility of % characters, using which we can specify the permissible characters in the input string. If user input string contains any character which is not listed in the % character specification, then the string will be terminated at the first occurrence of such characters. This is very much useful. Okay, for example, if you want to allow only certain alphabets to be entered or certain characters to be entered, then that you can restrict using this facility. If any other character is entered by mistake also, then it will be, program will get over, it will get terminated. We will see with an example, so it will be easy for you to understand. See, character student name, data this thing, it is an array of 30, that is it can store 29 characters. Okay, in student name you can store characters up to 29. Printf, enter your name containing only alphabets and space. So first we ask the user to enter their name, right? So for that we give a printf. Then comes scanf. Scanf percentage bracket open A to Z big and A to Z small, that is capital and small, whatever thing could be entered. Means here we are saying that the user can enter any alphabet from A to Z, because name may be containing any alphabets from A to Z, right? Now we can also enter capital as well as small, whatever. So percentage then into bracket A to Z and A to Z, bracket close, double quotes, comma, and then comes student name. Fine. Now comes printf. Your name stored in variable is %s, and then comes the name of the student variable. So whatever the user have entered will be displayed. Now see here, textbook has given two examples. That first, the student entered the name Ragi Bharat Patel. Okay, so it got stored and also it displayed your name stored in the variable is Ragi Bharat Patel. But second time, the same person inserted the name Ragi B dot Patel. Then what happened? As soon as this character which we had not given, right? Here we had not given this character in A to Z. This is point is not given here. So as soon as the point was entered, the program got terminated. And it displayed in the output only Ragi B. Then dot and Patel did not got stored. Program got terminated. Okay, now restricted user input using caret characters. By using percentage into bracket caret character specification in this scanf, the process of inputting the value is immediately terminated when any of the character from the list is encountered. Let us try to understand this thing with an example. Just see, I am giving you an example. Here the name of the variable is user data. How much size? 100. So 99 alphabets could be stored here, right? Now printf, enter your details. Printf, enter asterisk to exit. Enter asterisk to exit. Now scanf, then percentage into bracket caret and then asterisk. Now see, this is totally opposite to the previous one. In previous one we were specifying that the number should be from A to Z and capital A to Z and small a to Z. While here we are telling that if asterisk sign comes anywhere, terminate the program. Except asterisk sign, any characters are allowed. Okay. Except asterisk sign, all the characters are allowed. Fine. So here then we give the output, your details stored in variable as are so and so. Fine. Now we will see the user has entered like this way. See, first output came was enter your details. Enter asterisk to exit. So the person will understand that when he or she completes entering the data, he has to type asterisk sign, right? So the user enters, my name is Purva, my mother's name is Krina, asterisk. Means here I want to finish entering the data. Here I want to stop. So that thing got that much, 2 lines got stored, and when we gave the output, it got displayed in the output. My name is Purva and my mother's name is Krina. So this is also very important thing. Then what is this topic? Reading mixed data. Okay. Reading mixed data is the last topic here. That is, suppose at the same time, if you want to scan the values of character data type, float data type, integer data type, everything together, then you can scan that. I had already told you. Here there are 3 variables: integer roll number, character grade, grade, name of 30. So 4 types of things are there. This is %D, this is %C, this is %S, and this is %F. So when you want to scan the value, it's very simple. You have to write here %D, F, S, and C, and respectively M% and the name of those variables. Very simple. You will be able to scan the different types of data. We had begun this topic just now with this thing only. Formatted input topic was begun like that way only, that if you want to enter 33 Mudra Ahmedabad, then what to do. There we had started this topic, and here we are ending the topic, that like this way you can solve that problem. Okay. And this tabular information, that is characters used in scanf control string or printf, you have to remember. For reading decimal %d, for reading character %c, for reading plotting point %f or %e or %g. Mostly %f will be used. Reading a string %s, for reading a unsigned, n unsigned, it will come here, n unsigned integer %u, for reading short integer %h, for reading a long integer %ld, for reading a double %lf, and for reading a long double %l. Fine. So here we have completed the topic of all the different input functions. Now in the next video I will be covering up all the output functions. If you like the video, please hit the like button.